Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox back for another episode. I'm absolutely thrilled today to have Val Stinson. Val, first of all, welcome and thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us today.
Thank you, Tom, for having me. I appreciate it.
We get in this podcast, we get to talk about the Kerrville Folk Festival, and which is one of our joint loves. And you have been involved with the festival, I think, for 30 years at least, maybe a
hmm
little more. But could you tell us your current role?
My current role is I'm chair of the board of the Kerrville Folk Festival Foundation, and then just a regular ticket buyer, and I go to the festival as well. But that's my current role.
What's the role of the foundation?
The role of foundation is to raise money to support all of our programs that we put on. Of course, our flagship program, the Kerrville Folk Festival, which supports emerging singer-songwriters, and Music Camp for Teens, which is why I'm here right now, and our new folk competition, which is really the heart of who we are because that's where all the new singer-songwriters come from. We have Music at the Mansion here in Kerrville, and we also have, I think that's, oh, Welcome Home Fest in October.
Right.
There you go.
Could you give me a sense of the breadth and scope of your membership?
On the foundation, we've been growing it over the years. It grew significantly during the COVID years. We didn't have that many members. And so as the board matured, we started helping them understand that their membership really gives them a vote and how things are decided by the board, and they elect the board. Our membership elects the board. So we're not appointed by anything. And so we have a rotation. And the depth and breadth of the membership is just like our Kerrville community. It's a microcosm of the real world. So we have professional people, retired people, people that raising their, homeschooling their kids. So just all sorts of folks are on members of the foundation.
Can you give us some specific examples of the programs the board supports?
I'm going to start with, because I'm here, our music camp for teens, and that we're in our 18th year of that, and that's been working with initially the Boys and Girls Club of Central Texas with John Charles and Francie Charles. They caused this program to happen, and what we do is we bring out teens, so 13 to 18. We also work with the air bases in San Antonio, and because they're a big Boys and Girls Club organization as well, we get them out here and we bring instructors in that are past performers that have always been part of Kerrville. And the kids get to take a pick. They can do spoken word. So we have a little poetry writing classroom, if you will, drumming, guitars, ukuleles, and the instructors sit with them and they teach them basics of songwriting. Some of the kids come already with some basic knowledge of what instrument they're interested in, but if they don't know anything, these instructors are really good at getting down to basics with them and teach them. They write songs and they perform them every night. What is today? Wednesday. So tonight we'll have the grand finale, as it will. All the kids will get the opportunity to perform, whether they wrote a poem or wrote a song. And every child, I shouldn't say child, every teenager goes home with an instrument of some kind that we supply as well. And once these kids come to that, they keep coming back and they oftentimes become counselors for the camp and lifelong attendees of the festival as well, we hope.
What about the Welcome Home October event?
Welcome Home is, we used to, I'll give you a little history. We used to have a Labor Day festival, and Rod Kennedy rebanded it over the years. And once it was Wine and Music, and once it was just called the Fall Festival. And in 2017, it was Labor Day, and it's terribly hot, and people are reluctant to come out, but we had to cancel in 2017 because of Harvey. Many of our volunteers are first responders in their communities, and there was just so much suffering and sorrow, we just didn't feel right having a festival. Then we, had one in 2018 and 2019, still in on Labor Day, and then 2019 was our first October Welcome Home Fest. I stand corrected. And the main reason we shifted it is because of really the heat on Labor Day. You just never knew how hot it was going to be. And people really seemed to enjoy that. And then, of course, COVID happened. So we didn't do a 2020 Welcome Home Fest. And our first festival back after COVID was in October as well, and that was a 10-day fest. But right now, the Welcome Home Fest again is October, usually around Indigenous People Day. So to take advantage of that Monday holiday, and take advantage of the cooler weather. So it's a little 4-day festival that we really enjoy a whole lot. We try and get some of the younger acts out and book some younger acts that some folks haven't heard of before.
And then how about your role in the Kerrville Folk Festival?
I'm a ticket buyer, so I love to go, but my role in the festival itself is we have, and when I say we, there's a few of us that, maintain and have a large camp. We call ourselves Camp Inertia, and we're out there the whole 18 days. And so as a ticket buyer, just a regular goer, that's what I do. We put up camp and we have song circles, listen to music, we feed a lot of people, and so that's kind of separate than my role with the foundation.
Let's talk about that because I did want to visit with you about that role you have.
Okay.
And could you start with Landrush? What is
Oh,
Landrush?
Lord, Land Rush started in 2001, maybe 2000, somewhere in there, and it all started because of a misunderstanding. Someone came in that didn't know and camped in a person's longtime camping spot, which caused a lot of consternation and trouble, and then management at the time, Kerrville KFF was still for profit at that time, and they decided that maybe to prevent that from happening, they're gonna sell little stakes that we pound in the ground, and everyone lines up like the festival starts Thursday before Memorial Day, so the Friday before that, everyone lines up in our parking meadow on the ranch, and we kinda have a little mini party until the gates open at noon on Saturday, and then everyone comes on and puts up their camp, and some folks stay. I'm fortunate enough to be able to take time off and stay and be sure my camp's all ready to go. Some folks get their camp up and go back wherever home is, Houston, Beaumont, wherever, and work for a few more days before they come back to festival. It gives everyone the opportunity to set up their camps. And if you're going to stay for 18 days, it's important to be able to get all that going.
Tell us about Camp Inertia.
Camp Inertia has been going on for 38 years and just started out as a few of us. And over time, we gather people in and they chip in and decide they'd want to camp with us. And so we have about 25 or 30 campers that are regulars that come in every year. We have folks fly in from Boston and Washington State, and across the pond, we have a camper that comes in from England, and we put up a whole bunch of tents and 10 by 20 canopies with a full outdoor kitchen and wash station, and we have canopies that serve as our picking circle, dining area, game area, and we make it very comfortable, and we can happily live for, like, 25 days, 18 to 25 days. We're fully self-sufficient.
I've heard some people say that in many ways the most interesting music is after the main stage shuts down.
That's absolutely right because, I mean, clearly, we have some good performers come on main stage, but when it shuts down and if they can make it out into the campgrounds, they do, and they hit some of the major song circles like Camp Cuisine or Camp Stupid, Camp Nashville, and Sweetness and Light, and those are the folks that and it's pretty organic, and people just come in and circle up and listen to music. In Camp Inertia, we're kind of the opposite. We have wonderful morning song circles, and it's some of the same folks. So some of the best musicians I've ever heard come through not only our camp, but all the other camps as well. So you can wander around all night listening to music that you'll never hear on main stage and people that you might never hear on main stage either. And so
Tell us about the Threadgill Theater because I find that to be one of the most intimate experiences of theater I've ever been.
I agree 100%. So Threadgill, I don't know exactly when it was built, probably it was there in 1986 when I got there, so I'm thinking the early '80s. In 2000, we did a major upgrade, made the roof larger, and put some terracing back, as you probably know, and I agree. To me, it's very intimate, and I often feel depending on the artist, it's just better to listen to music there because 'cause we're all there and we're all close, and I've heard the artists talk as well, the singer-songwriters, that they really enjoy playing Threadgill. It's a beautiful theater. It is really beautiful.
And that was my other observation. Certainly, it impacts me as an audience member, but it seemed to impact the artist
It does.
as well, and that they felt a level of intimacy that they could share with perhaps in a way they couldn't if they were even on the main stage.
Correct, and we had one Michael Smith, rest in peace. He asked years ago that, "Yeah, I'll continue to come, but I wanna play Threadgill." And so that it does, translate both to the artist and the audience.
How does the foundation really what are some of your major fundraising efforts to help fund the KFF?
KFF is our major fundraiser, but how we do that is we have some really good donors right now that have been donating for years for us. And part of the struggle with our board is to try and determine, the best way to continue our fundraising in other ways. And so that is an ongoing project. In fact, I have a new board member that's going to take that on as one of her projects to put on her portfolio to come up with some better ideas for fundraising.
If someone wanted to get involved with the foundation, how would they do so, Val?
They would go to kerrvillefolkfestival.org, and on the page, you can click on I think it says "Know more about the foundation," and you can become a member of the foundation then. You can become a member when you're there during Fest. It has our mission statement, which, of course, is to support emerging singer-songwriters and bring that out into the world. And our membership, we have numerous membership levels. Our basic level is $100 a year. And we have finally got our system set up where it can take it right out of your credit card and you don't have to worry about it anymore. That number, that $100 is set by our bylaws. And we figured years ago that would be a reasonable cost for most people. We have higher levels, but they're not codified in our bylaws. If you become a member at $100, of course you can vote. You get the t-shirt and quarterly newsletters that come out, and of course, you get to elect the board. But go to kerrvillefolkfestival.org and check it out on the page.
Oh, we're gonna link to that in the show notes. Is there anything, I haven't asked you or you wanted to add about the foundation?
Rod Kennedy, when he first started, the Kerrville Folk Festival, he started a foundation. At that time, it was called the Texas Folk Music Foundation, and I think he did it just to be sure he had something that maybe could raise money or something like that. I don't think his vision as to what it would be was really clear at the time. And in 2008, late 2008, we KFF, Kerrville Folk Festival Inc., dissolved their assets, and we rolled the whole organization up under that nonprofit umbrella. In 2012, we rebranded it as the Kerrville Folk Festival Foundation to be sure that statement would keep Rod Kennedy's vision of what we do alive. And the foundation, it's our members, and they're really the ones that drive it. And the board members are all members of the board are all members of the foundation. That's required in the bylaws as well. And it just we support Deb Rouse, our executive director, in what she needs. We approve a yearly budget. We approve and sign off on the 990. We do all the things that are necessary to maintain our nonprofit status and support Deb.
I wanted to thank you again for taking the time to come on. I'm really looking forward to visiting with you about this and I hope we can continue this conversation.
I would like that very much, Tom. Thank you.